From a drafting standpoint, going to be out of the country tomorrow until Sunday night. So a little drafting on the plane until we get into international waters and we can't draft any longer. But we'll have a good amount of sweat this week. Let's pull up. I think I've done about like 25 so far. I typically like to draft a lot on Sunday, like Sunday mornings. But right now isn't a bad time because we have the Q tag on Chase. We can take some of those gambles. We can take some of those different pieces that we're going to get with Chase that you wouldn't otherwise be able to get. And if he practices tomorrow, it's all over, right? He's going to go right back to 3. He's going to go right back in the mix right there, and you won't be able to get some of those combos. So I think it is interesting and important to be mixing in Chase right now. Again, like if you can get Chase, Keenan Allen, like these are combos that early in the week people weren't able to get. So we're seeing him slide too. Like I saw him go at 7 in my last draft. Obviously, the person 6 spot could have taken him at 6, but we'll see how far he does dip. This is early only. Where's main slate? So many slates now, which is great. A lot of options. Options are not a bad thing. Yeah, he's fallen fast. So you will see him. You'll see Eckler climb above him. But again, this can change. This can change tomorrow with the limited practice, right? Fun's over. Chase will start to maybe not rise, but he'll go at his ADP. He will no longer fall. So if you're getting him at 5, even 4. But I think if you're doing a lot of drafts from now until 2 p.m. tomorrow Eastern, you can push him. You can definitely push him. So if you're at 4 and you want to go Eckler first, you have a better chance of getting Chase on the way back around than you do Eckler. So just something to think about there. Fellas, some hellos. Ben in the live stream. Adam here early. Fancy Dysfunctional. What's going on? Logan, Jared, Shock Trauma, ER7. Let's go. Excited for this one. Honestly, I'm taking a strong stance, kind of just saying F ADP in this one. Fully ignored Gibbs, assuming Montgomery's going to come back. Now you see him falling to 26. T. Higgs. I'm not playing the T. Higgs game this week. I'm between Chase and Mixon. I'm super aggressive on Mixon this week. The founders, Patreon members know we have Mixon ranked very high and very early into the week. Honestly, he could be like my RB4 on this week. I have him in between here. And honestly, I want to flip ETN and Kamara. I know this is a tough matchup for ETN, but they're going to have to run the ball. So if you want to flip these two and then put Mixon in front of Kamara, I'm cool with that. Alvin Kamara, we didn't have as our 101 last week. We had him as our 104. So we ended up not grabbing a ton of him. And our prediction was right. They get Jamal Williams more involved. And I think you can see that again this week. Let me actually pull up the snap count. You're going to continue to see Jamal Williams get involved. And another problem, another thorn in his side is Taysom Hill had a fucking week. And it's tough. You don't know when it's going to be a Taysom Hill week. But I do like the matchup for Kamara. So I'm not going to have no Kamara. Let's put it that way. But I do think it's interesting. Some of these running backs that go late again on this week's slate. So here we have New Orleans. Let's zoom in so people don't have to squint. 43%. 43% Jamal. Not great. Not great for Kamara. This obviously went up. Kamara's went down. It's expected. Now, Kamara's an explosive player, so he could still get there. Obviously, it hasn't been Alvin Kamara of the past. Some of these targets have gone down too, but he can still get there against Minnesota. It's going to sort of, in my opinion, it's going to be a pretty ugly game. From a weather standpoint, the only game you really have to worry about is the Commanders at Seahawks. 72% chance of rain, 54 degrees. This one's in Seattle. Everything else is either in a dome, partly cloudy, like pretty good weather. So that's just one thing to note. And that could be enough, honestly, to make me go Metcalf over, not Metcalf over, Mike Evans over Metcalf this week. They're very closely ranked. Um, Mike Evans goes one spot before. I think that's correct. Honestly, I like D-Hop this week. I like sort of targeting this matchup. Um, Houston, Tampa Bay was a huge game last week. I don't expect Tennessee to put up that type of points, but I do think you can mix in Levis here. Like if you want to go DeAndre Hopkins and Levis, like I honestly think that can be in play. Mike Evans bring back. I think that's cool. Joe Mixon goes way too late. And when you do dog bowls, like sharper crowds in dog bowls, he doesn't make it to past 16, 17. At least in the posts that I've seen and the one draft that I did, he's right there at that 16. Honestly, I think he can go earlier. Now, Houston's run defense, it's not as bad as years past, right? Like at least ranking wise. But when you take a look at who they've played, it's not impressive. Like New Orleans, I think that was week 1, no Kamara. They played Indy without JT. They've had about 5 easy matchups. Really only one tough matchup at the running back position. So honestly, Rashad White last week smashed Houston. I do think, and especially where you have T. Higgins, where you have Jamar Chase, Mixon's got to rise. Until there's more certainty about those receivers, all the more Joe Mixon should be climbing, and he is. He was going behind. He was going late. So he's definitely on the rise. Let's jump in and let's see what we get for the first draft of the night. Logan says he loves Mixon this week. Let's go. 100%. 100%. Brutal day in the Wi-Fi streets for you today. Saints will continue to get better. White's role stay consistent. Yeah, Jared's spot on right there. Like White's role has been awesome. He was a mega winner in the draft when they didn't draft another running back. So it's been really good for Rashad White. Now, isn't the most efficient. The O-line isn't the best, but he's not being challenged by anyone in that backfield. Like 80%, 75% plus snaps pretty consistently. That's awesome. That's awesome. We get the 6 spot. Honestly, I kind of like the 6. I kind of like 5 right now where we have the uncertainty with Chase. We can get Chase at 6. Let's see if it happens in a badged up room. Shock is in here in the 2 spot. Shout out to Shock. The Flock 13. We might have an imposter in the 3 spot. Gonna need you to chill on the Mixon hype. My bad. All right, we'll tone it down. He's only gonna put up 22 points this week. Kenneth Walker didn't practice today. Interesting. JSN didn't practice today. Interesting. If he doesn't practice again tomorrow, and like this shouldn't shy you away from drafting or not drafting Kenneth Walker. He's going, you can get him in the last round. If he doesn't play, you can make an easy pick swap to Sharps. So it really shouldn't shy you away, especially in a rain game. They might be running the ball more. Now, I do think at the end of the day, Kenneth Walker ends up practicing limited tomorrow. This whole team's banged up, though. Chase at 6. Thank you very much. We'll take Chase and Keenan Allen. Please do it now. We'll mix in these two. I'm hoping it's these two, but we'll see what we get. Okay. We'll do this. This is fine. I'm not grabbing Chase Burrow here. I've seen Burrow fall to 16 through 18 too often. So you can push Burrow if he doesn't come back. Oh, well, like I think that's fine. But I do like Burrow this week. I like this game. I like the Tampa Bay game too. I think this one's sneaky. Tennessee, Tampa Bay. I think Baker's in play too. some of these QBs. Trevor Lawrence, I have really low ranked. He started to drop. I think that makes sense. ETN's been doing a lot of the work on this team. So Trevor Lawrence doesn't have too many games with 2+ touchdowns this year, but he hasn't been a bad quarterback. Just not great for fantasy. So we see Burrow go here at 8. That's fine. We'll just have to zig and zag on this one. Justin Herbert loses Palmer potentially for the year. Uncertain to return. Man, that's tough. That's tough for Herbert. Like, he's running out of options, and Quentin Johnson is being forced to learn faster, and it's not going all that well. Do we need to zoom in one more? How's that? That should be on the money. ER7 asks, who is the better start this week? Lawrence, Watson, Purdy, Levis, or Kyler? Interesting. I don't like Watson this week. I don't love Lawrence this week. I think Purdy's pretty safe, to be honest. I think Purdy's pretty safe. And then I'd probably go Kyler after that. How good is Kyler going to be his first game back in NFL action with no D-Hop like he had in years past? I'm a little skeptical with Kyler. I think Purdy's the safe option there in redraft. If Laporta comes back to us, we're probably going Laporta here. If not, we could push it. We could push Hawk until the 5th round as a bring back with Kamara. All right, Laporta's gone. So we're going to try to do that, and then we'll make this maybe a CJ Stroud lineup with Chase. My dude Mixon's already gone. That's huge, who I'm usually going here on this turn. So throw me off a little bit, my friend. Throw me off. Let's let's go TJ Hawk Stroud, I think. Let's go TJ Hawk Stroud. We could go D-Hop here. We could go Metcalf. I guess the plan basically is we're going to pull in Nico or Tank with this lineup, and then we can do a scroll down option. I don't love any of these guys to like consistently just pick them as one-offs. If I'm going to do a one-off and not stack these games, I'd rather just reach down. I think there's tons of options this week. I think there's tons of options for one-offs. Like Drake London's going to end up playing. This dude doesn't even get drafted. So rare. So rare. Against Arizona should be a pretty good spot. I'm curious what your guys' thoughts on Nico versus Tank Dell this week. Like, do we do the leverage play, right? Like last week, Nico misses. Nico was heavily drafted. Tank Dell was sprinkled in, wasn't heavily drafted. This week, Tank Dell is being drafted in a lot of them, and Nico goes undrafted. So do we just go right back to the leverage play and just be like, all right, it's Nico's week? We saw how fast like that can catapult you above other drafters. Oh, goes Dell and Nico's the decoy. Spicy, spicy. Spicy, spicy. I think it's interesting that Evan Ingram gets disrespected. Now, San Fran's an elite defense. They're also pretty good against stop and tight ends. But this man is getting like 6+ targets every single game. And they have like set plays to get him open in space too. It's like he's pretty safe floor-wise. And then obviously, if you add a touchdown to any of these, you're talking top 3 tight end, just like most tight ends on most slates. Very touchdown dependent. K. Dotton had a week last week. Made a sick grab. Schultz had a great week. Fergie. It was like a huge tight end week last week. You're seeing Gibbs fall. which I think that's correct. So we'll pull in Tank here. I don't think Nico's that far behind. And let's go Debo maybe. I think it's interesting that Barkley goes undrafted. Yes, not the best matchup, but you would think they're gonna have to get him around 20 touches again. Like you're looking at 18 plus touches. 19 plus in the last 3 weeks. Sure, like if he gets in the end zone any of these, you're looking at a great week. How many times will he be scoring against Dallas this week? Yeah. Yeah, you gotta think about that. Algiers like the ultimate leverage play. Just so gross though with 3 running backs. I like Aaron Jones, Debo. I think this could be an Aaron Jones lineup. Let's go A Jones here. Again, like I'm going to have a ton of these. So like I reach over this range, right? I don't grab a single player from this range, but I have a lot of lineups with players in this range, like DK, D Hop. Like I'm not off of these players just because I reached on Stroud and TJ Hawk. I just really group them in the same tier. So if you can get a player that's not being drafted, I think that is just a little more appetizing. It's just going to give you a better chance if you're on someone that other people aren't, right? This is a fun slate, though. I like this slate a lot. I don't expect Stroud to get another 40-point game, but there's so many QBs that are viable this week. Like Lamar Jackson, like you're not going to see Gus Edwards get in the end zone twice this week. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So I think Lamar is going to have to use his legs against Cleveland. We might end up looking back and be like, yeah, he probably went too late. QB3 on the slate, tough matchup. But again, Gus Edwards kept Lamar from having huge weeks. 3 touchdowns against Arizona, 2 here against Seattle, even had 1 versus Detroit. Whoa. 3 badgeless in a row. You just 4 badgeless, and we got J-Dubs in here. Blood is in the water, J-Dubs. Blood is in the water. Jared says, Chase went in my draft with Adam. I went Allen Andrews at the 6th spot. COD comes out tomorrow. Kyler throwing 3 picks this week. That is a fire take. That is a fire take. Jared, Nico is only 24. I think Stroud came into an amazing situation with weapons. Before the season, I think I had 1 or 2% Bryce, and I had 6% Stroud. Wasn't overboard on Stroud. I had a lot more outside of BBM. I think I ended up with like 14%. So I'm sort of surprised I didn't end up with more Stroud and BBM because I have 16% Nico and BBM. You would think that'd be helping me more than it is. We got to cover our BBM expos soon. Top 2 QBs been getting crushed. Getting crushed with injuries. Jay Dubes, what's he want to do? Goes T Higgs at 5. Woo-hoo! Adam says Eckler over Chase. I explained a little earlier that you have a better chance of Chase making it back to at 9 right now than you do Eckler making it back at 9. So it's the only reason I'm doing that is for those unique combos. I still want Chase, but I think this is interesting too, going Higgs and maybe grabbing 3 players from this same tier, like this same range. Only way you can do that is reaching. Yeah, I'm gonna jump into a dog bowl too. I'm not gonna get to 10 this week, I don't think. I want to. I just don't think it's possible right now. Let's see. I have to be up in 4 or 5. I have to be up in 5.5 hours for my flight. Oh, he goes Chase Higgins. It doesn't even make sense. I don't think J Dubs does this if he's not on the live stream. I'm not gonna go Kamara here. I don't think J Dubs does this if he's not in the live stream though. Because he goes Higgins here at 5, you can guarantee you get Higgins at 8. Let's get a little different. But yeah, like that's the exact reasoning why you go Eckler here at 4 right now with the Q tag on Chase. So the lineups I don't get Chase. Guess who I get? Guess who we go and get? We're just gonna leverage this game through Chase and Mixon. And if it's a Higgins week, it's a Higgins week. I'll take that chance. I'll gladly take that chance. Laporta goes at 13. I have a ton of Laporta this week, but it scares me. Tight end's one of those positions where I think you want to be a little more balanced across the board. Shit, we have ETN falling super far, but it doesn't make sense. If I go ETN here, it's like I got Mike Evans at 16, and it's like I got ETN at 9. So he falls, but it's not unique if I go him. So I'm just going to go and get my guy. If I drafted based off ADP and I grab someone like Metcalf, no, it doesn't work. Because if I go Kamar, then I have 2 running backs. And then I can't go ETN anyways. So it wouldn't have worked. Adam doesn't like Higgins' chances to play this week. Another reason why I'm drafting a lot of Mixon and Chase. Like I have too much. I have too much of the both. And sometimes I have both of them in the same lineup, and that's okay. Like this game, it has the potential to spike. So if you guys haven't already, just join the live stream. Make sure you go slap the like. Helps me tremendously. Paula goes at 17. I'm gonna be the first one to come up and be like, it could be a Pollard week. It also is probably not gonna be. What scares me about this game is it could be over by early 3rd quarter. Like if Dallas is up 28-3, first drive in the 3rd quarter, they go down and score. Yes, that's enough points for multiple players to get there, but man, Pollard's been bad. Pollard's been bad. God damn. It's not even unique. It kills me, bro. It kills me that I didn't get Chase. This would have been so sick if this was Eckler, Chase. I'd even add Mixon. I'm gonna go Kittle here. I'm gonna go Kittle. Had to pick 28-3, huh? It's just one of my favorite scores. It's the catch, man. The catch. We got the catch in the back. Deontay Johnson goes. We need another receiver. This could just be a Nico or a Tank Dell bring back. Derrick Henry's that. Oh no, we can't go. I hate how it does that on PC where it doesn't get rid of the position. Dude, I like can't not go Joe Burrow here. I just can't. I can't not. I can't not do it. We can go Burrow here and then we can go Boyd. been involved in the red zone. He likely needs to get 18 points plus for it to matter. Yes, that's thin. If D-Hop was available here, I'd probably try to do something with this game. Let's go Burrow here at 28. Like, I think that's stupid not to. I really do. Video games brings up a good point. Pollard always plays good against the Giants. It's like that's a good motto for every single player that's playing the Giants, though. It's good leverage. It's good leverage on Chase. It's good leverage on Higgins. Or we can do a Houston bring back. I also think like Dotson's in play. Pickens is always in play, just that type of player, spike week guy. Shaheed's in play. But let's leverage all those Chase Higgins teams. We also have Mixon too, which I don't love to do with the QB, but Mixon is a pass catching running back. Let's see. Happened with Kamara on this week. We talked about it. So maybe he's due. So we got Burrow at 28. Definitely an interesting one. Let's jump into a dog bowl. We're waiting on 8, so that gives you guys plenty of time if you want to join us in that. Man, how would I get to 10? I would have to be an absolute savage at the airport. Now, you have to get there early for international flights. That's just a lot of drafts. And it's JetBlue, free Wi-Fi. Positives. You got to look at the positives. It's not, is it technically like a vacation, like destination wedding? Probably would have chose another place. It's cool. Let's go. We got some pounders in here. Adam, Charles in the 4 spot. Huge drop off this week after first pick. Like there's no doubt. Huge drop off. Let's pull up 5 spots in the dog bowl. If you want to join us in Miami, already going with Nick, but I need my own ticket. In that draft. It's probably not going to be this week. We'll see. It's 8:30 p.m. Eastern. If I can get in 2 tonight, make the wife drive to the airport. Not gonna happen. +3 for the dog bowl. Another tank week. It could be. Tank's been awesome. These 2 games, I think he left early in this one. And then you think of like the 2 games before that, I believe were just around or above 20-point weeks. You could definitely see another tank game for sure. Metcalf's just been so bad every week. Like this was good, 14 targets. He catches 1 bomb against Baltimore. Again, tough defense. I just think there's like a lot of mid, like right in the middle of this draft. There's just like a lot of players that I think you can skip over or just group them. Like all the way from T. Higgins, like huge drop off after Keenan Allen, all the way from T. Higgins to Debo is like the same tier for me. Like you can mix in players like Pickens. Now Green Bay's a little tougher defense. Dotson, you can sprinkle in like London. Not a huge spike week guy. He's more of that like consistent like 12-point floor. But if he got into the end zone, he could definitely spike to 18 plus. Watson practiced in full, depending on your risk tolerance. Michael Wilson put in a limited practice. He might be an interesting, just sneaky if Kyler plays to mix in. But I like Marquise Brown, honestly. I think I have to start mixing in more Marquise. We're waiting on 2 people for the dog bowl if you wanna join us, toes in the sand in December. Toes in the sand. See what Logan wants to do. Logan, are you in the live stream? Logan 008? Alright, let's do a little Mike Evans, D-Hope. Mike Evans, D-Hope. That seems fun. Ooh, Shock says Boyd is my sleeper this week. No longer is your sleeper, our sleeper. +2, +2, +2. Let's get this started. Oh, man. What a sweat. What a sweat that was for Nick. Yeah, Logue. I thought that name looked familiar, man. Let's go. DSR in red. Are you guys in the chat? Are you guys lurking? Steadily lurking. Let's peek some of these snap counts. Chargers. Quinn Johnson played 83%. Like, this is someone like Guyton comes back and just plays 57% his first game. Could we see Quentin Johnson take a backseat to Guyton? If anything, it should help. Like, this does give Quinn Johnson an opportunity to learn and learn faster. It's not equating to numbers right now, but he could be important come down the stretch, end of the year. I wasn't super high on him coming into the season. What do we get? We get the 5 spot. Let's go. Jared's in here. This name's familiar. Hockey Hooligan. Shock's right next to us. Crash Rich at the 8 spot. The bot himself already has a ticket. Charles in the 10. And Win surely won't in the 12th. I probably just jinxed him. Such good luck for him. Such good luck. Mixon goes to 16. I would love to get Mixon back at 24 at ADP. That's like some early week shit. This could be a Levis lineup. This could be a Levis lineup. This could be a Baker lineup right now. Double stack Baker with Mike Evans and Kate Otten. Get a little tipsy with it. We'll see. We'll see. We might. We just may. What do you say? Up in 2 picks here. Eckler goes at 2. I think that's interesting. Nico Collins goes right before us here. D-dum. I have no interest in really stacking like Jacksonville pieces against San Fran. That could be wrong, or it could be very, very right. Ugh. I don't love that, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna double stack San Fran. And we're grabbing Chase at 5. Get that risk tolerance up. He probably falls later than this, but if he's the right piece, it doesn't matter if you get him at 5 or 8. Crash Rich going Alvin Kamara. And we're on the clock here. My God. Almost missed that. Could have gone Purdy here if we... You can go Purdy with CMC. Like, he gets into the end zone a fair amount, right? Like, every week in the air. You can go Purdy with CMC and Deebs. But this is the week that he punches 2-1 in the ground, 2 in the ground, and then Deebs Deebs gets his too. This is a gross one. So gross, it might just work. Mike Evans goes at 13. Sam Laporta, Mike Evans, Brandon Ayuk, Tony P. Don't love these starts. See what Charles does. Burrow goes at 9. It's so weird. On a week where, like, I think multiple QBs are in play, like, scrolling all the way down to Carr is fine against Minnesota. Sam Howell versus Seattle. Rain's a small worry for me here, but we got one more pick here. This is K. Dotton. No one needs a tight end, so that's locked in. We're going to double stack Baker. Bring back with D-Hop. That's a fun one. At the very least, we're having a little bit of fun there. I'm going Mixon here. We're going to double stack Cincy. We're going to double stack Cincy. How did Adam do? Let's peek his squad real quick. Stroud, Pollard, ETN, Chase, Ayuk, and Schultz. This is a fun one. That's a fun draft. Let's double stack Cincy. Trust your gut, man. You got to trust your gut. We can go Stroud on the way back if people are kind. And then we can go Tank or Nico, and we can start to stack this game up. Who else was in this one? We had Charles, Jared Goff, Joe Mixon, Bijan, Amon-Ra, Jordan Addison, and Sam Laporta. So a little double stack. No bring back, but outside of Eckler and Keenan Allen, you probably don't want a bring back for the Chargers. So I think that looks good. Logan in the 2 spot, Joe Burrow, Gibbs at 35. This is like, I'm cool with it. Like, you want to pick Gibbs in the last round. I think that's fine. Like, Demont, not guaranteed to play like a heavy amount of snaps, not even fully guaranteed to play right now, even though I'd say it's probably like 95% chance that he does. But hasn't been declared. Full practice pretty much does that, but Gibbs at 35 feels good. I think you could also mix in Monty here. Like, he's definitely in play. If he doesn't play, you can swap him for like Kenneth Walker. If Kenneth Walker doesn't play, you can swap him for Charbs. Tank Dell goes at 25. Do we get Nico? I don't think we get Nico if we go Stroud here. If Tank Dell and Nico were both available at 29, sure, it's thin that we get one of the two back around, but dude, I could have swore I got Tank Dell in like the 5th round on my first draft. There's 3 QBs available. There's one team with the QB to my right. If I go Nico here, does that give me a better chance to get Stroud? These players should stay in their lane, right? Should. Let's play it through Schultz. That's the tough part. That's the only tough part, is there's multiple options. So we need Carp to go Nico because he already has a QB. Adam says had Debo in my queue. I'm just seeing that. Sorry. My Kittle CMC team was top 120 in BR when they played Cincy. Yeah. Logan says, man, I don't know about Gibbs. He's looked so good. I know. It's just that worry that the coaches have already said it basically, like Demont is the workhorse. You could very easily see Charles here go So, oh my god, that worked perfect. That worked perfect. We called that. So there's no Houston pass catchers that should be enticing enough for them to go naked Stroud. We'll take him out of the queue for good luck. If not, we can go like Jahan Dotson on the way back around, then Sam Howell. I'm cool with that too. Cool with that. Aaron Jones goes at 34 to Charles. That definitely makes sense. Bringing in your first running back there. Running back starts to fall off like probably after Barkley, I would say. Brian Robinson against Seattle feels pretty good. Good candidate for a touchdown. James Conner practices limited. And I don't think his backup practiced today. Yeah, he doesn't practice. And we already saw Keontae like 9 attempts for 8 yards. Eee. Tony Jones Jr., 3 attempts for 2 yards. So pretty gross in Arizona. But if James Conner plays, especially if Kyler plays too, could be the steal of the week. I could see that. Yeah, J-Dub saying Ingram's so bad. Oh, man. If only. Oh, shit. So we have one person to get by. We just have to get by RKFD 9383. You don't want Stroud here, man. You don't want Stroud here. This is a receiver pick all day. One man could ruin it all. The perfect double stack bring back. Oh, imagine it's an auto. That would have been gross. That would have been gross. We'll go Stroud here. Fun. I came into this draft and I said, I'm gonna have fun tonight. Let's jump into another battle royale. Jake Fergie with Dak. Nice. I like that play, Shock. So he was planning that all the way. Josh here has a mini between Ayuk and Evan Ingram. Jared Goff and Monroe for Jared. This is a fun team. I can't deal with Arthur Smith anymore. Like anyone besides London and like Jonnu Smith, I just refuse to draft. Logan sneaks in this one too with us. Walrus, this name sounds familiar. CMG, we've seen him in a couple rooms tonight. Good. Get these QBs off the board. Let's go. McBride gone. Now it's basically just pick your favorite one-offs here. JSN doesn't practice. Nice. Okay, so we can get Dotson here. And where did, just for reference, where Marquise Brown went at 42? Marquise Brown went at 42. See that? When you play well, you get approved personal days. Amazing. Amazing. I would like one of these two. Let's see if it happens. Purdy goes to the Kittle squad. He's got his bring back with ETN. This is a fun one. Yeah, I like this squad. Tyler Boyd goes at 54. Oh, yeah, he's leaning into it. Shock is leaning into it. Said it's his sleeper of the week. Backing up his talk. Again, we want Chase, but there's a higher chance to get Chase at 9 than there is Eckler. And when it happens, when you get that Chase Eckler combo, you feel pretty good when Chase practice tomorrow. Or you just don't get it. But I'm cool with it. I'm cool with risking that. We're going to do enough drafts that it should happen. It will happen eventually. Charles brings in Will Levis with the D-Hop. Rashad White bring back. All right, let's bring in Alvin. I'm not going to have a ton of Alvin Kamara this week, but should be a pretty good spot for him. Oh my God. Adam, the wedding is in the Dominican Republic. Like, of all places. Of all places. And my wife is in the wedding. So it's like, what do I do the morning of? Gonna have to find like a golf course or something. I wish I could just draft though. Draft by the pool, couple mimosas in the morning, have a day. Who's gonna be our last pick for this draft? I have an idea of who it's gonna be, but 1, 2, 3, 4 people can snipe them. 4 people. Yeah, it's all inclusive, which I don't love either, because then it's like you feel forced to just eat and drink everything. Bring me more. Like, fuck. So you don't even want it, but you already paid for it. What a dilemma. What a dilemma. We can't go RB here. Oh, shit. We get Drake London? What? He goes way too late, man. If he was guaranteed to play, like, where would you put Drake London this week? Probably in front of all of these players. Probably right in this range. Like, I think that's super fair to say. So we get basically a full round discount on London if he plays. If he doesn't, we're pick swapping him for someone very close in his tier. Like, there's only one more team that can draft a flex after me. So just something to note who's available. Like, we can just pick swap for like see what, to be honest. The ultimate risk tolerance. We have New Orleans. Let's do something. Let's make this a Derek Carr team. Let's make this a Derek Carr team. We need a tight end. Only one team past us should be drafting one. Should give us pretty good options. Wow. Here's my first dog bowl team. Brock Purdy, CMC, Derrick Henry. So we have the Derrick Henry, K-Dot, and Mini. Brock Purdy, Debo, CMC, Tank Dell, one off. We spooned the 101 on our first on our first dog bowl. Charles says went to the DR a few years ago, a few years back in golfers, the PGA Tour. Damn. Bring a stack of ones for tips. Smart. Very smart. Pro tip right there. Pro tip. Underrated. No one's going to snipe me on Carr, right? Like, dude, look how far down he is. No one's going to snipe me on Carr. Could go K-Dot in here. I just like this game. Do I like it too much? Probably. It's okay, though. Let's go Schultz here. I think there's gonna be plenty of points to go around this game. So I do want a piece. I do want a piece of it, so we don't have Mixon in this one. If the Hawkinator was there, we could have gone Hawk for bring back, which would have been fun in that double stack. That would have been ideal. Doesn't make it back, and that's fine. Shocks has smashed the like. Let's go. Please. It helps. It helps. All right. Let's jump into a couple more. Trying to think of other combos. We have Carr lineups. We have Mayfield lineups. This could have also been a Levis squad too. I probably need a couple more Levis. I like this. I like this game too, but if it's gonna be shit weather, like words, letters, work. If it's gonna be shit weather at let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. Pat the weatherman. Pat the weatherman. No, I do not want to buy anything at Best Buy. Get that ad out of my face. Cloudy with a couple of showers, mainly early in the day. It's a 4 PM game too. 4:30. Oh my god, these ads. These ads. Guarantee I never come back to this website ever again in my life. Hours of rain, 2.5 probability. So like it's gonna rain. 20% wind gusts. That's not the worst, to be honest. That's at its max. So that's fine. Not a ton of rain. Honestly, I'm not worried about that game. After looking at that, I'm not worried at all. You can go on the Washington side, you can go on the Seattle side too. Like last year, Geno Smith had like 5 games in a row with multiple touchdowns. We're not seeing that this year. But if there's some way that K-Walk doesn't end up playing, you could see them forced to throw the ball more. Logan sneaks in another with Charles, DMC, absolute grinder in the 5 spot, rent free in 6. And Brady Eagle, the man who's going to donate a CMC in the 2 spot, just sitting there with his green dog. It looks like a golden retriever. We do appreciate the donation. I'm just going to queue it up because it's going to happen. Kyler Hollywood, Bijan Pitts, London. That's a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. That's a lot of Atlanta. Oh my God. Too much. Too much ATL. I have to get to 50 drafts this week. Like that's the minimum. Damn it. It's sometimes you could speak this stuff into existence. I'm really light on Amon-Ra. So I'm gonna go ahead and go Amon-Ra over Lamb. Start to get some of those shares. I have a ton of Lamb. Like early on, I wasn't getting 4 spot drafts at all. Where Amon-Ra was going. Oh, the kiddo's bedtime. T. Higgs at 7. Eckler, Keenan, Logan. Oh, all right. We get a little small dono here. A little small dono. We'll take it. We'll take it when we can get it. Alvin Kamara and Monra. It's a little different. Hmm. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Metcalf goes. Do we do we just go for the double stack here? Go Goff. We're not gonna have a bring back for the Chargers, which is fine. I want so bad an Eckler and Monra team to make into either a Herbert or Jared Goff squad. Not that a GM team's ever won. It's actually a curse. They are cursed. If it doesn't get thrown away, which I mean, at least that guarantees your $5 back. Where they're the most like important is in those small game slates, 2-game slates, 3-game slates. That's where like, yeah, you already know you're getting your money back. You already know you're finishing high. Brian Robinson goes at 18. Get him off my board. Logan says it was Kamara or Hop. I like it. Mixing it up. Mixon goes to 15. I'm gonna get so much more Mixon off stream. Like where I can comfortably get him at like in this range. It's a little tougher in the 2 spot if you're not going him at 14. And I have enough of him that I don't feel like I need to right now. I probably still have around 55% after tonight. I don't love the idea of double stacking Olave and Kamara. We already did that tonight too with Carr. But if this is going to be a goof lineup, I don't love Ayuk this week either with Debo returning. Let's just grab our guy. Mike Evans against Tennessee. They've given up a shit ton of yards to receivers this year, so highest upside. Like I will die on the Mike Evans hill. Like I'm completely okay with being wrong on players that have the upside to break a slate. Completely fine with it. It's like poker. Like if you make the right play over and over and over again, you are a profitable player. That being said, if you can find that scroll down guy, that's what separates you from the crowd. Let's go Goff here. I just don't want to get sniped. And I really am not too interested in any of these players right here. So let's bring in the goof. Goff and Stroud both go over Lamar. And I I'm fine with Lamar this week. And you can go naked Lamar too, but I double stacked Detroit, so I almost feel obligated. Although I know like Lamar has it in his capabilities to spread the ball and get there on the ground, while Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta can both have a good game. It's just not the matchup for it, in my opinion. Could happen still, but it's less likely against Cleveland. And basically, this is going to be our scroll down player. How deep? How deep do we go? That's deep, bro. That is deep into the ocean. Honestly, like There's zero risk. There's zero risk to going James Conner at the end. If he doesn't play, I can swap him for, like, Aaron Jones. You know what I mean? Dameon Pierce doesn't have an ADP yet. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. I do like Aaron Jones this week, but, again, let's mix in James Conner here. If he doesn't end up playing, Aaron Jones would probably be my pick swap. You could also add Brian Robinson into that mix too. I would go through and look at my teams where I need a swap and sort of take into account, like, who are my surrounding players? Does it make sense to have the running back if I have one of the receivers in those lineups? So I do go through and I look at those teams that are getting swapped. What's my highest projection? 83. 83? 83 it is. Justin Herbert, Joe Mixon. Where'd we get him? Pick 26. Man, I love early drafts. J Herbs, Joe Mixon, Bijan at 35. That makes sense because I'm not high on Bijan. Chase, Keenan Allen, Laporta. This team is sick. That team's sick. Maybe we'll do a giveaway. We'll do a giveaway for anyone that leaves a comment on this video after it's posted. We'll do a 25% giveaway. So 25K to first place. 12.5 would be 50%. So 6 point, whatever. Do the math. 6,000 something. 25% giveaway for this lineup for whoever leaves a comment. What's my second highest? There was an 80 in here somewhere. Burrow, ETN, David Montgomery, Chase, Nico Collins, and George Kittle. So we have our stack. We have our bring back. We have our mini stack with ETN and George Kittle. That one's fun. That one's fun. We got some fun teams. Only 21. I want to get this to 50. What happened to my... Oh, my God. It says one entry. I thought one of them already got thrown out. My God. All right, guys. That's going to wrap it up for tonight. If you enjoyed tonight's live stream, slap the like before you leave. We're going to the DR. Hopefully I don't get kidnapped. And I'll catch you guys on Monday. Hope everyone has a successful week 10. And I'll be in the Discord. Make sure you join the Discord, link in the description. Catch me on there. Pounders.